What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out two of the latest devices from Xiaomi and looking at the differences between them. So on the left hand side here I have the Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G, and on the right hand side here I have the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G, so this one has the plus in the name. Now the Plus here is also about $100 more expensive than the regular Note 12 Pro. So is it worth spending the extra $100 to get this one? Well, we're definitely gonna find out in today's video. So first things first, let's start by checking out what comes in the box with each device. Alright, so in the box of each device, of course, you're gonna find the clear case, so you also have the user manual, so you have a USB-A to a USB-C cable, and then in the box of the Redmi Note 12 Pro, you're gonna find a 67-watt fast charger. In the box of the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus, you're gonna find an 120-watt fast charger. So both devices have a 5000 mAh battery inside, so the same battery pack inside both devices, but if you are charging the Redmi Note 12 Pro, the 67-watt fast charger that comes in the box, this one takes about 40 minutes to charge from 0 to 100, where if you are charging the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus with a 120-watt fast charger that comes in the box, it only takes about 20 minutes to charge this. So if you need a phone that charges super fast, well, the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus will charge faster. Taking a quick look at both devices and looking at the screens, well, they both look pretty similar, don't they? Well, that's because they have the exact same screen. So we have the same 6.67 inches AMOLED screen with a refresh rate of 120Hz and a resolution of 1080p with a peak brightness of 900 nits on both of them. So pretty much identical screens on the Redmi Note 12 Pro and of course the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus. Now, if you turn them on the side like this, you will notice a bit of a difference. So first of all, the Redmi Note 12 Pro is a bit lighter and also a bit thinner. So here we have 187 grams versus 210 grams. So the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus is a bit thicker. Now both devices have a plastic frame as well, and they also have the same fingerprint scanner on the side here, which is built in the power button. At the top they both have the same IR blaster, we have a hole for another microphone, we have the holes for the second speaker, so both devices have dual speakers, and then both devices do get a 3.5mm audio jack, which is something that we don't really see with too many devices these days. Moving to the bottom, well, here we have the SIM card slot, we also have the hole for another microphone, we have the USB-C charging port and the holes for the second speaker. Keep in mind that neither device can take an SD card, but they can both take two SIM cards at the same time, so no SD card for these devices. And turning the devices around, well, the backs are a bit different. So on the back of the Redmi Note 12 Pro, we have a more flat back, where the back of the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus does have some curved edges, I'm gonna say. So it is a bit easier holding in hand, or not easier, more comfortable, I'm gonna say, holding in hand the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus because of the curved edges here. Now, the camera bumps on their backs are also somewhat similar, but the camera bump on the back of the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus is a bit thicker, as you'd imagine, because we have a 200 megapixel main sensor there versus a 50 megapixel main sensor. So aside from those main cameras on the backs there, they both have the same ultra-wide camera and the same 2 megapixel macro camera, which I'm not even sure why they've included. And on the front, they both have the same camera as well. Okay, and before we check out some sample pictures, I want to start by showing you some sample video recordings that I've done with both devices. So both devices can do 4K at 30 frames per second, however, at that resolution the video doesn't have any type of stabilization, except the optical image stabilization that's built in the main cameras. But again, if you're recording in 4K at 30 frames per second, the video's not gonna look that steady, I'm gonna say. We do get better video stabilization if you're recording in 1080p, And the maximum recording resolution for the front-facing cameras is 1080p at 60 frames per second. So let's check out those sample video recordings that I've done. Alright, we have a quick video test between the Xiaomi Redmi Note 12 Pro and of course the Xiaomi Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus. So for this recording I'm doing 4K at 30 frames per second with both devices and using the main cameras on the back of the two devices. Now it seems that if you're recording in 4K at 30 frames per second, there is no video stabilization, or if there is, it doesn't really work that well. I did notice that when I'm recording in 1080p at 30 frames per second, the video stabilization is a bit better. So I just wanted to show you how a 4K recording would look like from these two devices. For our next test, I switched the resolution to 1080p at 30 frames per second, and from what I'm seeing on the screens of both devices, the video stabilization is much better at this resolution. So you're probably better off to record in 1080p at 30 frames per second with these two devices if you want smoother recordings. So yeah, 1080p at 30 frames per second between the Redmi Note 12 Pro and the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus. And just in case you're wondering, the maximum recording resolution for the front-facing cameras on both devices is 1080p at 60 frames per second. We're currently doing 1080p at 30 frames per second, and it almost looks like we have some type of video stabilization at this resolution. I'll walk this way and I'll try walking a bit faster, just so you can see how the video quality is. So yeah, front-facing cameras 1080p at 30 frames per second. So in my opinion, pretty disappointing video quality from both devices. So it doesn't matter if you're recording with the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus or the Redmi Note 12 Pro, the video quality was just not that great. Okay, next we are moving on to pictures, and we are starting with some pictures that I took with the main camera. So of course, the first few pictures that you are seeing, I took at the maximum resolution, so 200 megapixels on the Xiaomi Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus and 50 megapixels on the Redmi Note 12 Pro. Now, if you just glance at those pictures, if you don't zoom in, you're not gonna notice that big of a difference. However, the biggest difference you will notice when you actually zoom in on those pictures. So of course, if you're zooming in on the pictures that I took with the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus, you can see way more detail, mostly when you're zooming in, because those files are massive. So a lot of information in the pictures taken by the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus. But as I said, if you're just looking at the pictures on your phone screen without zooming in, you're not gonna notice that big of a difference. But yes, there is a big difference if you do take those pictures with a 200 megapixel mode basically, because the phone doesn't actually use that mode for regular pictures. As for regular pictures, so pictures that you're gonna take on auto mode with both devices, you can't really tell the difference. You can't really tell that you have a 200 megapixel sensor on the back of the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus versus the 50 megapixel sensor that we have on the back of the Redmi Note 12 Pro. So those pictures do look pretty similar. I actually prefer a few of the pictures that I took with the Redmi Note 12 Pro. But overall, you can't really go wrong with either device for those daytime pictures. So really no difference for the pictures taken on auto mode. Now for nighttime pictures, I was actually surprised to see that the Redmi Note 12 Pro does slightly better than the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus. I find that the pictures, the nighttime pictures using the night mode that I took taken by the Note 12 Pro are slightly brighter and maybe they are a bit sharper. But definitely leave a comment and let me know your thoughts about the pictures that I took with these two devices. Moving on to performance. Well, surprise, surprise, there is really no difference for performance because both devices are using the same chipset. So you have the MediaTek Dimensity 1080 that's paired with 8 gigs of RAM. Now, both devices are running MIUI 14.05, which is based on Android 12. So we still have Android 12 on both devices. And if we open the Antutu benchmark here, we can see the scores here. So the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus does get a slightly higher score, even though they have the exact same chipset inside, but it also looks like the Redmi Note 12 Pro does get slightly warmer when running that test. So I guess having the thicker device, because the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus is a bit thicker, maybe helps with heat dissipation. And if we go to storage test here, so this is the speed for the internal storage, well, not that big of a difference there either. So performance-wise, you're not gonna notice any difference in between these two devices. So to quickly conclude this video, the three main differences between these two devices are as follows. So 67 watt fast charging on the Redmi Note 12 Pro versus 120 watt fast charging on the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus. The Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus is also a bit thicker and a bit heavier. This one is a bit thinner and a bit lighter. And the last difference, of course, is that main camera on the back. So 200 megapixel sensor versus a 50 megapixel sensor on the Redmi Note 12 Pro. So what do you guys think? Is it worth spending $100 extra to get the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus? Or you're better off saving $100 and getting the Redmi Note 12 Pro? Definitely leave a comment and let me know. Well, hopefully this video was useful. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.